Hi, it's Katrina. Number 2. Mummified ram's heads. An offering to the mighty ruler of Egypt, Pharaoh Ramses II, has just been found at an ancient temple. Archaeologists discovered a vast collection of craniums unlike anything you could ever imagine. Long before the pharaoh's death around 1213 BC, the Egyptian people left for him an offering of 2,000 ram heads. Yes, the decapitated heads of 2,000 rams. These skulls were presented at a mortuary temple in the ancient city of Abydos as a tribute to the dead ruler. He was a huge part of Egyptian history, reigning over the land for the better part of a century. The amazing discovery was made by researchers at New York University. They were investigating the temple when they found a previously hidden storage section. It was essentially a storage closet, one whose door archaeologists somehow missed until now. When they opened the storage building and looked inside, they found 2,000 severed ram heads. Even weirder is that these skulls were mummified. And get this, they were prepared as an offering to Ramses II 1,000 years after his death. The decapitated heads weren't prepared as an offering immediately after the pharaoh's demise, but 10 centuries later. They were then wrapped in bandages as part of a botched mummification attempt. After over 2,000 years, though, these skulls have lost most of their meat. As of right now, researchers are still stumped as to why such a major offering was given to the pharaoh so long after his death. Do you have any theories? Number 9. Snowball Earth. There were at least 2 different points in the history of Earth when ice covered the entire planet. I'm talking about massive blocks of ice from the North Pole to the South Pole. During these 2 instances, the planet was a frozen wasteland. Both of these events likely occurred over 500 million years ago, long before complex life ever crawled out of the oceans. But scientists have always been curious about these episodes in history. Primarily, they've wanted to know what the planet was like when it was completely frozen solid. Some experts have theorized that nothing at all was alive. Others suggest there may have been small patches of exposed ocean and enough light to allow life to flourish. Recently, researchers from China and the UK have made some amazing discoveries. They believe there may have been an open section of ocean near the equator, meaning Earth wasn't totally frozen. Scientists found deep-dwelling chemotrophs, tiny organisms preserved deep underneath glaciers in China. These creatures likely lived during Earth's most recent mass ice age 650 million years ago. If that's true, it means life really can flourish here in almost any condition. As for what caused the planet to be frozen in ice, that's still a mystery. Scientists don't know if it was a loss of greenhouse gas, some type of feedback loop from too much ice reflecting heat. Nobody knows. And now for number 8. But first, it's shout-out time. I want to say a big thank you to Chuck Duncan and Mitt Winstead for supporting this channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos about incredible recent discoveries. Number 8. Mona Lisa Alien. What if Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just hiding secret symbolism in his paintings, but actual images of aliens? That's what a crazy new theory is saying about the Mona Lisa. Apparently, there is an alien hiding in it. A video recently popped up online offering secret proof of Leonardo da Vinci's alien artwork. The video claims that if the colors are slightly manipulated and the image is mirrored, the face and long fingers of an alien come into focus. Now people are calling it the Alien High Priest because it looks like an alien pope with a large hat and its fingers pressed together in the creepiest way possible. The alien in the Mona Lisa most definitely exists. If you apply the filters and mirror the image, the alien face appears. There's no denying that. It also appears if you do the same process with Da Vinci's Saint John the Baptist. This painting isn't nearly as famous as the Mona Lisa, but it too has a weird alien face in its center when the image is manipulated. So what's the explanation here? It's not as if we can ask Leonardo da Vinci. He's been dead for a little over 500 years. Nobody knows if he left these weird images of aliens hidden in his paintings on purpose, or if manipulating his master artworks in the same way reveals alien faces. Accident. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Number 7. Buddhist aliens in Thailand. Speaking of aliens, something strange has been going on in Thailand. Locals have been flocking to a hilltop in central Thailand, hoping to get a glimpse of extraterrestrials. These mysterious aliens are supposedly attracted to a giant Buddha statue, where they have been caught sending telepathic communications to people. Locals also believe the aliens are using a nearby sugarcane field as the location for their portal to take them back to their own planet. It's all exactly as strange as it sounds, and it's happening 3 hours from the capital of Bangkok in a place called Nakhon Sawan. Ordinarily, this is a small and quiet town. It's a rural place with great natural beauty and almost no tourists. And then someone spotted a UFO. Ever since, people have been flocking to Khao Kala Hill in mass numbers because it's believed that if you meditate long enough, you might hear one of the mysterious creatures speaking in your head. I don't think I would like that. What about you? The sudden obsession with UFOs in this sleepy Thai town came to an end almost as quickly as it started. Government officials cracked down on the bizarre activities, disbanding those who had gathered on the hill to contact the aliens. But seeing as people have come to the hill since the 1990s to catch glimpses of aliens, chances are they'll be back. Number 6. One big gold nugget. A man in Australia made the discovery of a lifetime. An ordinary fella with a cheap metal detector and a distant dream of finding a fortune came across a single nugget of gold. This chunk of gold is worth between $150,000 and $200,000. It was recovered in an area known as the Golden Triangle, where the Australian wilderness is riddled with abandoned gold mines. This whole place is an open-pit gold mine, most heavily used during the gold rush in the 1800s. But people still come around in the ruins looking for any potential leftovers. And while people occasionally find a chunk of gold here and there, this is something altogether special. The man who found the gold, who didn't want to be identified for obvious reasons, brought a piece of his discovery to a local shop. He was hoping to get around $10,000. Shop owner Darren Camp told CNN that when the gold hit his hand, his jaw dropped. He called it a once-in-a-lifetime find, claiming he hadn't seen a chunk of gold like it in his almost 50 years of prospecting. The guy who found the gold, hoping to get a few bucks, made himself an incredible fortune. Although keep in mind this wasn't the biggest nugget ever found. In 2020, some diggers in southern Australia found a pair of nuggets worth almost $300,000. Number 5. Thin lips. A new controversial study has discovered that the king of dinosaurs, the mighty Tyrannosaurus rex, may have had thin lips. Yes, paleontologists now believe the T-Rex had real lips. They didn't look much like human lips, but were more similar to modern lizard lips. These lips would have concealed the giant monster's killer teeth. If true, it would mean other dinosaurs likely had lips too, instead of just walking around with their enormous teeth bared for all to see. Unless they were actively eating or snarling, the T-Rex's teeth would have been hidden in its mouth. You might be wondering why a dinosaur like the T-Rex would need lips. Why does anybody need lips for that matter? It's because having their teeth tucked inside thin lips would keep their teeth hydrated so that they could easily crush through bone. But for years, archaeologists figured dinosaurs like the T-Rex were more similar to modern crocodiles. Crocodiles have no lips, and so their teeth stick out from their mouth and make them look terrifying. But now, Thomas Cullen, a paleobiologist from Auburn University, says the T-Rex had a mouth more similar to an ordinary monitor lizard. It would have closed its mouth with a tight seal to prevent its teeth from being exposed. Researchers came to this conclusion after they dissected a tooth from a fossilized tyrannosaur. The tooth was in pristine condition. After detailed analysis, researchers found that the tooth was in a hydrated environment. This suggests it was inside a mouth with lips. In other words, the T-Rex had lips. Number 4. Ancient crab hunters. Scientists have made yet another discovery suggesting our Neanderthal ancestors were not as primitive as scientists once thought. Researchers found evidence of Neanderthals living in a cave near the Portuguese city of Lisbon 90,000 years ago. Inside the cave, they uncovered the remains of crabs. It looks like Neanderthals had a hunger for crab meat long before human beings ever even arrived in Europe. 35,000 years before the first modern person stepped foot in Europe, Neanderthals were eating seafood on the beaches of Spain like rock stars. The cave where these crab feasts were happening is right on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. Archaeologists found charcoal deposits from cooking fires, deposits of shells and bones, and an unprecedented amount of organic crab remains. So many crab remains were found that scientists can confidently say the crustaceans were a staple of the cave Neanderthals' diet. Dr. Mariana Navais from the Catalan Institute of Human Paleoecology and Social Evolution says Neanderthals were regularly harvesting large brown crabs. Even more, Neanderthal chefs demonstrated cooking techniques that wouldn't be unusual to see practiced today. Clearly, Neanderthals were a lot brighter than many of us give them credit for. And it looks like they had good taste. Number 3. Super pig invasion. Hybrid super pigs have been discovered creeping into the United States of America from their neighbors to the north. These super pigs began as wild European boars, brought to Canada in the 1980s. The European boars were supposed to be a new type of exotic pork. The idea was to sell the pork at upscale restaurants, but that never really happened. And then the European boars mixed with domestic pigs. This created a bizarre hybrid species of super pig. The new pigs can grow furry coats like woolly mammoths to survive the Canadian wilderness, and they're just generally massive. Over the years, super pigs have escaped out into the wilderness. Because the pigs are so big and so well adapted to life in Canada, they are a huge nuisance. Animal expert Ryan Brook from the University of Saskatchewan calls them the worst invasive large mammal on the planet. They wreak havoc on native species of plants, and they can devour an entire farmer's crop in no time at all. These super pigs appear to be making their way into the US. Far into the US. The Canadian super pigs have been spotted creeping around Texas ranches, with the pigs now threatening agricultural crops on a huge scale. Number 2. Hawaiian Petroglyphs. In Hawaii, ancient stone carvings have been found hidden at the beach. These extremely rare petroglyphs appear to be carvings of animals and humans, along with other strange images. But nobody really knows anything about them. Finding petroglyphs in Hawaii doesn't happen every day, and so the discovery is a big deal. It was also somewhat of a miracle that they were found at all. The petroglyphs were only revealed because huge waves crashed into the land, brushing away sand to reveal the carvings. Experts think the petroglyphs were made long before the islanders had any contact with European colonists. They could be as recent as the 18th century or as old as the 1st century. The carvings were found at the beach on Oahu's north shore. Normally, there is a thick layer of sand covering the entire area, but a series of intense winds blew away all the debris. Now, scientists are trying to decipher the mystery of the petroglyphs. Kekuiwa Kikiloi from the University of Hawaii says the images are called ki'i pohaku, or stone images. They were made by using hard stone tools and pounding images into the softer volcanic lava rocks. Experts believe the images tell a story. They just don't know what kind of story. It could have something to do with a spiritual ceremony. The images could be depicting ancient ancestral gods. Nobody knows. Unfortunately for everyone, the petroglyphs may never be seen again. They have already gone back to being buried. They won't be revealed for a second time until nature blows away the over 10 feet of sand they are currently stuck under. Number 1. A shipwreck on the beach. A woman in Massachusetts was walking her dog along a beach when she found the wreckage of a ship from almost 150 years ago. Her name is Jessie Ahern, a local from Nantucket. She was going for her usual dog walk when she came across the wreckage of the Warren Sawyer. The Warren Sawyer was a schooner lost late at night on December 22, 1884. The ship had been loaded with an expensive cargo of cotton and scrap iron, but found itself blown way off course because of intense storm winds. The ship ended up crashing into Miyakomet Beach, and then the scraps from the wreckage were gradually covered over in sand. It's not that nobody knew where the shipwreck was, but more like nobody ever really went looking for it. Luckily, Jesse took pictures of the wreckage, which were eventually sent to Dave Robinson with the Board of Underwater Archaeological Resources. Dave and his team were then able to confirm the identity of the long-lost ship. Thanks for watching! Which of these amazing new discoveries did you like hearing about the most? What would you like to learn more about? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and come back soon. Bye!